Ya podemos hablar si fue un día o...
Un buen día. Después de matemáticas hablaremos de cómo estuvo tu día.
Yay.
¿Ok? Pues para darles una pista acerca de lo que vamos a hacer, les voy a leer una parte, no el libro entero, pero una parte del libro Más Matemáticas. The model used within this school is a 50-50 model, which means that 50% of the instruction is done in Spanish and 50% is done in English. So basically what I do is I teach all subject areas, reading, writing, math, science, social studies in Spanish. And my co-teacher does the English component, so she teaches all the subjects in English.
Who could tell me what is a prediction? What is a prediction? Christian.
It's like when you guess something before it happens.
Okay, it's going to be guessing something before it actually happens. What about this word? What is an estimation? Today's model that I used with the children, the two-way immersion program, was one that relied on manipulatives. So today I told them that we would be working with some candies and we would be talking about estimation. And then I went through what estimation was, what was the difference between exact and estimation, and elicited responses from them. And then the children were broken up into groups and they worked cooperatively with each other.
Like there was about a specific number.
So when you just looked in the bag, you got a specific number?
Yeah, but I moved it around from moving it the
All right,
outside.
and what number did you come up with, honey?
I got 300.
300. Let me see this. No, let go, honey. Do you still feel 300? Calvin?
No, not really, because it could look like around 400 instead of 300. Since it doesn't have the bag, it looks like a higher number than 300.
All right. Calvin is saying it looks like a high. Today, I sort of set the stage of a concept. And our concept was estimation and figuring out the exact number and doing some prediction. Taking that information when they came to the Spanish class today in math, they would use that same information and then go a step further, taking that information and now presenting it in a different forum, this time in a bar graph. You have to have good teamwork. Both teachers have to know what the other person is doing. It's ideas. One person gets an idea and the other person tries to see how can I incorporate that idea into my class. But I think it's always touching base and checking in. It's always knowing what the other person is doing. They really had a hard time with estimation. Mm-hmm. They're pretty secure, but they may need a little more. Again, the difference between estimation and then we use the exact number also. They all have, for each group, everyone has a recorded white sheet.
Okay.
And there's consensus in the group on all the numbers. So then you can use that information to start your graphs.
Okay, so they were able to estimate and then to do the actual counting.
Can I support that person through something in English? Their vocabulary words I should be developing, or vice versa. If I'm developing any kind of concepts in English, I will always share key vocabulary words with Sarah, and then she will make sure the children understand them in Spanish also.
Creo que ustedes hicieron esta mañana una actividad bastante especial en la clase de señora Donlan, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ajá.
¿Quién me puede contar qué fue lo que hicieron? Karina, por favor.
Teníamos unos dulces de Skittles y M&M's y predicamos cuál número era de todos esos dulces.
So the students came to me already having estimated the candies in the bag, already having counted the exact number in their bag. So basically, we were able to talk about that data that they found, make some predictions about that data, and then use that data to create bar graphs. Graphing is part of the 4th grade curriculum, so we've been working on bar graphs for a little while this year, and they were familiar with the setup, but they talked about the key components, which is the title and the horizontal axis and the vertical axis, and basically the elements that a bar graph would need.
¿Cómo se
se llaman los dos ejes, Carlos?
Eje X y eje Y.
Oh, Y. O, Christian.
Eje horizontal y eje vertical.
Correcto. En el eje horizontal, ¿qué vamos a escribir? I believe that there are a lot of pros to this type of program. Students whose first language is English are exposed on a daily basis to Spanish as their second language, and it's really the best way to learn a second language. Another pro would be that students who have recently arrived to this country, they have the ability to continue their work in Spanish and not fall behind in their academic areas while they're able to progress in their second language, which would be English in this case. ¿Qué estamos viendo? Georgia.
En todos los gráficos de M&M, azul es el más grande o casi el más grande.
Okay, hay más azules, hay más dulces de color azul, excepto en el grupo blanco, pero casi es el azul, sí. Some people feel that a con of bilingual education is that students who are a speaker of another language that isn't English will not ever learn English, and people are worried about these students not learning English. And I find that to be absolutely not the case. Really, I think in the long run they'll end up performing better in English, they'll be stronger academically, and in the end they'll be bilingual, which is really the goal.